हरि ओम जी। ओम ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। कथं भीष्ममहं संख्ये द्रोणं च मधुसूदनं इषुभिः प्रतियोत्स्यामि पूजार्हा वरिसूदनम् गुरून् हत्वा हि महानुभावान् श्रेयो भोक्तुं भैक्ष्यमपीह लोके अत्वार्थकामांस्तु गुरूनिहैव भुञ्जीय भोगान् रुधिरप्रदिग्धान् न चैतद्विद्मः कतरन्नो गरीयः यद्वा जयेम यदि बानो जयेयुः यानेव हत्वा न जिजीविषामः देव स्थिताः प्रमुखे धार्तराष्ट्राः कार्पण्यदोषोपहतः स्वभावः इच्छामि त्वां धर्मसम्मूढचेताः यच्छ्रेयस्यान्निश्चितं ब्रूहि तन्मे शिष्यस्तेऽहं शाधि मां त्वां प्रपन्नम्। So this is Bhagavan has given his initial argument, even though he is going to give number of arguments later on. He is going to give many arguments in favor of doing duty, but he has already given his initial argument in favor of doing duty. His initial argument includes 3 details. To fail in one's duty, it doesn't befit an Arya. It doesn't befit Arya. Arya, I have already defined Arya. Any human being who perceives that one's existence is not an accident, one's existence is not an accident, one's existence is the truth, one's existence doesn't come and go, though one's conclusion that I am this form, one's conclusion that one is a form, though this conclusion may come and go, meaning this conclusion may be with this form now, with another form later on, but the existence of the self doesn't come and go. Like the shirt comes and goes, but the person continues, something like that, something like that. Try to use your imaginative power. In fact, one should use all one's imaginative powers when it comes to understanding the truth. Because there is no use of having lot of imaginative power in one's head, unused. Nor is it useful at all. Nor is it useful to use it for some empirical useless things. Therefore, the intelligence must be used to understand the truth about oneself. So, a person who, Arya is one who has the perception that existence can't be a notion, that I am the form could be a notion, but existence not a notion. The one who perceives the continuity of the self, the one who perceives that this is not the first life or the final life, this is just one of the lives that have taken place and will take place. And an Arya is one who perceives that actions don't die without producing results. That's called law of causation. Law of causation is a physical reality, is a physical fact, like law of gravitation is a physical fact. Law of action also is a physical fact. Law of causation. Law of causation begins with thought. You see, my thoughts come under law of causation. My emotions come under law of causation. My attitudes come under law of causation. My words come under law of causation. My actions come under law of causation. Therefore, I always get the results for my thoughts, for my notions, for my emotions, for my words, for my actions. There is always a result. Thus, Arya is one who perceives the law of karma as reality. Such a person would always do his duty because he knows failing in duty will trigger some negative results for oneself. I cannot fail in my duty. I may fail in my duty and still get away with it in this life. But the results for my actions don't come from individuals. The results for my actions come from the law of the Lord. The law of the Lord may make a few individuals as a nimitta to give me results. That is a different matter. But the results come to me from the law of the Lord. And therefore, he has given his first reason. If you are Arya, then you are not supposed to fail in your duty. It has already touched Arjuna. You see? You know, to begin with, whenever you want to convince a person, first you adopt the less than the subtle things. बहुत बड़ी बात है जी. When you want to convince a person of something right, first you adopt a means which is not very subtle but less than the subtle. You touch his ego. इतनी बड़ा खानदान में जन्म लेके ऐसे काम करना अच्छी बात है. This is what is called touching the ego of a person. It's not the right thing to do, but then if it doesn't work, then you go for a more subtle approach. You don't begin with the subtle and end up in the gross, but you begin with the gross and slowly adopt the subtle things. See? You can't straight away give the best argument and then slowly give the gross argument. You begin with the less than the subtle argument. And then slowly go and try to give the subtler arguments. Here he has given, hey, you are Arya. How can you fail in your duty? It is really appealing to his ego. And another argument he gives is, that is Aswargyam. It is not going to, I'm just coming back to the new verse, don't worry, just listen. That is, if you fail in your duty, you will lose whatever little comfort you have. It doesn't promise you. Failing in duty is not non-violence, understand. Failing in duty is not, if a soldier thinks to fight is non-violence, to fight is violence, therefore if he runs away from the battlefield, is it non-violence? Is it non-violence? Not to begin the war is non-violence, all right. But if you have begun the war and you are already faced with the enemy. Enemy means here no enemy. There is someone who is breaking the law. Then it's not really running away from the battlefield is not non-violence. Therefore, don't think you are being non-violent and you are going to get heaven. Forget about that. It will not be interpreted by the world as non-violence. It will be interpreted by the world as cowardice. Understand? You are running away from the battlefield will not be interpreted as an act of non-violence. You are running away from the battlefield will be interpreted as an act of cowardice. Cowardice. Do you want to be, and that will create Akirtikaram Arjuna very beautifully says, that will destroy your good name. Hey, failing in your duty will destroy your good name, touching the ego. Will destroy your good name. It will destroy your heaven. It will destroy also, your family background. Therefore, this is a weakness of your heart, and therefore you renounce it. Renounce the weakness and start doing your duty. This is what Bhagavan says. Now, see, Krishna has argued in favor of duty. Whatever little argument he has given, it is always in favor of duty. Okay. Now, Arjuna is going to argue in favor of family ties, sentiment. I am going to use this word. It's call it sentiment, call it emotion, call it attachment, a blood relation. Emotion. Even if there is no blood relation, there can be an emotion. You see, you will have the same love for an adopted son, as even your own son. Probably if somebody has lived with you for 40 or 50 years as your son, I am sure you will have the attachment. If you can have attachment to your own dog, there are people really who just suffer. When they lose their dog, they suffer. The same way as they suffer, there is a sense of bereavement. When a dog dies, there is a sense of bereavement. When a cat dies, there is a feeling of bereavement. And bereavement, a sense of bereavement is the result of a sense of attachment. In fact, man survives on attachments. Man survives on attachment. If you have no attachments, then there is no family. That is the truth. Even though we say, we should not be attached, that is all for public consumption. We should not be attached is for what? For public consumption. Everybody says we should not be attached. Even Bhishma said one should not be attached to one's son. Not Bhishma, Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra also said one should not be attached. Yo Rama. Attachments seem to, family ties seem to, family attachments seem to, make life meaningful, make life interesting, make life less boring. In fact, life is less boring when you are working for those for whom you have attachments. In this world, very few people work for themselves, understand? Very few people work for themselves. Everybody works for those for whom he has. You may not be working for the world. You may not be working for the world. But you definitely work for the souls for whom you have attachment. The parents are working for children. Or the children are working for the parents, grandparents. It is always family ties. Family ties seem to make life very meaningful. Minus family ties, life seems to have no meaning. Then you lose interest in action. You lose interest in any movement, any positive action. You feel like quitting everything. And so valuable have been family ties in this culture. Not only in this culture, I think family ties are there all over the world. Family ties are the things with which we are born. Family tie is something that is born with us. It's not a custom we initiate, understand? Family tie is not a custom we initiate, and then or it is like a custom that you terminate. It's not something that you begin and end. Family ties are those with which we are born. Family ties are those on which we grow. Family ties we grow with. Family ties we are born with. Family ties we grow with. Family ties we grow with. I have ties with my Bhishma. I have ties with my teacher. I have ties with, those people who have really wronged me. I feel certain attachment to them. Therefore, if punishing somebody means taking his life, it's too much. I am a prince, I am a king, and I have a duty to protect the good and punish the wicked. But if punishing these people means taking their life, it becomes too much. See, Arjuna's problem is not that he doesn't understand the value of duty, not that he doesn't understand the value of dharma, not that he doesn't understand his duty is even to kill everybody and protect dharma. That much of responsibility he has. But the problem is he also has equally strong attachments. Are you able to follow? So it's a conflict between duty and attachment, please. There can never be a conflict between duty and duty. There cannot be a conflict. There can be, as I was talking to somebody, if two duties come before you, then they look crowded. They don't have conflict. You can have too many duties coming to you in a crowd. Then you have to be intelligent enough to really put them in a sequence and then do them one after another. And it happens sometimes, more than one duty come to you. Then that doesn't mean there is a conflict, because I need to do all. There is no conflict between eating roti, eating dal, eating dahi, eating acham, and eating fruit. Is there a conflict? Too many things on a plate, they come in a crowd, but there is no conflict. because I need all of them for survival. So, too many duties don't have conflict. Conflict is always between duty and attachment. Conflict is always between greed and a value. Understand? There can be greed, there can be also a value, dharma. I know greed is bad, that is a value. I know greed is bad. That sense that it is bad is called a value. And then I have a temptation for the greed. So I get into a conflict. I know it is bad, but then I fall for it. Then what is it? I know it is bad, but still I follow it. What does it create? Conflict. I know it is good. I know it is good, but I don't follow it. Some mobile is moving, running. I know it is good, but I don't follow. What does it create? Conflict. I know to nag my husband is bad, but then I nag. That is what I do first thing in the morning. I get up and first thing I nag. Then alone I feel like having a cup of tea. Before nagging, I don't have that feeling for a cup of tea. Because the nagging creates, it is an appetizer. Nagging is an appetizer. I know it is bad, but I still nag. And afterwards, after tea, you sit and why did I say all that? You cry. When you cry, you feel liberated. Why? Because you have done the prayachittam. This is what we do every day. We get into a conflict, we do the wrong, and afterwards cry. It's all balanced out. Hindus survive because they make mistakes and also sit in a quiet corner and cry. We know how to cry. Understand? We know how to cry before God. Crying before God is a kind of a confession. It's a kind of a repentance. It's called paschatap or prayashchitta. It's atonement. You atone to a wrong that you have done. And man, due to ego, is never ready to even atone to what he has done. The sign of ego is he doesn't want to even to think that he has made any mistake. He hurts, but he doesn't think he has hurt. You see? And therefore, a person who doesn't hurt and another person who hurts and cries both are good, or both are saints. I'm telling something, a big thing I need to justify. A man who doesn't hurt. There is a man who hurts but cries. A man who hurts and cries, he is as saintly as a man who doesn't hurt. Then how he hurts and cries? It is his weakness. It is not his badness. A man who hurts and then cries, he hurts not because of his badness, but because of his weakness, lack of self-control. A man who hurts and doesn't cry is a bad man. A man who hurts but doesn't cry is a bad person. Very difficult to live with such a person. But a person who hurts but afterwards he cries. You should not even remember what happened. You should put the person at rest. You should comfort the person and say, don't worry, I didn't mean. Immediately understand. The person's problem is not that he is bad. The person's problem is, yes, he has no self-control. A person who has no control, you can live with him. But a person who is bad, you can't live with him. Very difficult. And therefore here, Bhagavan says, Arjuna is now going to argue in favor of attachment. How can I kill Bhishma? How can I kill Drona? For whom I have attachment. Mobiles you can put off, please. Some mobile is all the time ringing. No, here also. Now please see. Katham Bhishma Maham Sankhe Dronam Cha Madhusudana Ishubhi Pratiyotsyami Pujara Varsa. Now I have given this verse. How can I take the life of Bhishma? How can I take the life of Drona, whom I am supposed to worship? Because in this country, parents are, whether nowadays they are worshipped or not, we must understand the culture. We have to always separate between these two things. What is it? What is the culture? I must know what is the culture of the land, what is spirituality in reality, what is the real spirituality. I must know whether I follow it or not. I must know what is right. I may follow, I may not follow. That is a different matter. But I must know what is our culture. Our culture is always this, that is Matru Devo Bhava, Pitru Devo Bhava, Acharya Devo Bhava, Atiti Devo Bhava. Means look upon the parents as respectable. Look at them. Always treat them with respect. Always treat your teachers with respect. And always treat your guests also with respect. And therefore Bhishma is my grandfather, great-great-grandfather. And Drona is my teacher. Both are respectable. Both are supposed to worship. And if I really begin the war, then they are there with Duryodhana, and therefore in order to vanquish Duryodhana, I have to vanquish Bhishma and Drona, because Duryodhana finds protection behind these great individuals. How can I really reach Duryodhana? How can I reach really all these criminals without handling these two? But yet, how am I going to fight? Problem of attachment, problem of sentiment. Now see the next verse. Gurun ahatva. Let's move. He says ahatva instead of killing. That is the translation. Instead of killing Bhishma, instead of killing Drona, Guru, and both are gurus actually, because he had learned from Drona, he had also learned from Bhishma. Because a teacher may not be a parent, but a parent is always also teacher. Remember this. A teacher may not be my parent, but my parent is always a teacher. Is always a teacher. Parenting the children means also teaching the children. What else is parenting? Parenting the children means only teaching them, showing them the right path. Because you don't know how long are you going to be together. Parents and children, how long they will be together, nobody knows. Therefore, God has sent those children they are born into your family, and therefore it happens to be your duty to give them the right directions. Then suddenly we just part. We are together now, and suddenly we are together, and suddenly we just part. And before parting, it is better to show the right path. And therefore, what I am saying is, well, a teacher may not be a parent, but a parent is always a teacher. Therefore, Bhishma also is a guru. That is why he is putting both in one word. Gurun, instead of killing the teachers. Teachers means Bhishma and Drona, Mahanubhavan. And both of them are great souls. They have a great role, right? Drona was great. He had taught, he had created. Drona created many warriors in this country. Like a professor creates many, a teacher can create many teachers, many students, and students become themselves teachers. Like a village school teacher can create a prime minister, I am sure. A village school teacher can really be the future of the nation. Because if the education is properly given at the primary school level, really, they can become great men. Drona, being a teacher, he created many warriors, including Arjuna. And so was Bhishma. And apart from that, they lived for dharma. They used their power. They used their power to sustain dharma. Sustain dharma. They fought when it was required to fight to sustain dharma. That's why when Bhagavan takes avatara, the only purpose is to sustain dharma. A devotee of God also does whatever he does only to sustain dharma. God doesn't break the law. A devotee of God also doesn't break the law. What else is really being a good person or a saintly person or a righteous spiritual? What else is spirituality? Anyway, Kuruna Hatva Mahanubhavan. Now up to that, instead of killing these great men, Arjuna says, Shreyaha, it is better. Look, just hear this phrase, it's very interesting. Shreyaha, it is better. Bhoktum, to survive on, to eat. Bhaiksham, alms. Api, even alms, A-L-M-S, alms, bhiksha. Iha, loke, in this world. He says, instead of killing one's teachers and one's, parents, one's grandparents, instead of killing these great men, it is better to renounce the very desire for the kingdom. It is better to renounce everything and live on bhiksha. What does it mean? Is it a fact or is it a sentiment? It is a statement of a sentiment. It is a statement of a sentiment. When you have respect for somebody, when you have attachment for somebody, please listen, when you have attachment for somebody, you are ready to sacrifice everything for that person. Is it not? When you have attachment for somebody, you are ready to sacrifice everything for that person. When you are ready to sacrifice everything for that person, can you take the life of that person? No. When you are ready to sacrifice the whole world, when you are ready to sacrifice your comfort, when you are ready to sacrifice everything, when you are ready to sacrifice everything for that person, can you take that person's life out? Is it possible? No. And here the choice is between taking their lives or failing. If you do your duty, then you have to take their lives. And if you don't take their lives, then you have failed in your duty. What can be a worse situation in life? Arjuna's situation was not an ordinary situation. Ordinary situations don't create Mahabharatas, understand? Ordinary situations don't create Mahabharatas and Ramayanas. Very peculiar, extraordinary situation. And therefore here says it is better to renounce everything and become a mendicant and live on alms. And then the next line you say, Hatva arthakaman stu guru nihaiva. Killing, taking the life of the parents, taking the life of the grandparents, taking the life of the friends, taking the life of the teachers, takes the life of all your well-being, destroys all your well-being. That well-being, the overall well-being of an individual, in Sanskrit is called Artha and Kama, Purusharthas. This is a term Gita students can pick up. We have a term called Purushartha. Purushartha means all that man loves to have. Is called Purushartha. All that man loves to have throughout life. Understand? Not for a day or two. That is not Purushartha. That is called really fashion. Having really fancy for something is not called Purushartha. Having a fancy for something is not called Purushartha. Because you have a fancy for something. And then tomorrow you lose interest in it. You lose interest in it. Purusharthas are those which we need throughout life. Purusharthas are those which we need throughout life and beyond. I am defining Purushartha. You better listen to this word. Purusha means man, means a human being. Artha means needed. Needed for a human being. Means human necessities. The basic necessities for a human being are called Purushartha. Purushena arthyate iti Purushartha. What are these Purusharthas? Artha, Kama, Dharma, Moksha. Swamiji, why don't you tell us some stories? These are all too tough. No. You have to listen, because this is Bhagavad Gita, you know. Because Swamiji, to hear all such terse matters, we are not used to such terse material. We are all used to seeing hangama, golmaal. See, we are all used to nice, very chote. You come up with Purusharthas. Too tough. And then it is better to hear. Artha means wealth. It is our need. Wealth is our need. Don't feel guilty of having wealth. Understand? Artha means wealth is our need. Man needs material wealth for survival till the end of life. Even to die you need money. You can't die without money. If you die without money, it will be embarrassing everybody. It will be embarrassing everybody. Disposal will be very difficult. You can't die even without material. Therefore, artha, wealth is a human need, is not human greed. Greed is different. It's a need. Wealth is a need. Greed means what? Even though you have enough money, but then you want to have it more. That's called greed. But fundamentally, wealth is a need. Wealth is a need. Kama means enjoying, like drinking water, eating food, resting, breathing, using the material objects for my biological survival. This enjoying, consuming certain material things for survival is called Kama. Kama means consuming material objects just for survival. Therefore, consuming is a need. Over-consuming may be a greed. That's a different matter. Every greed is fundamentally a need. In fact, we become greedy about the need. We can't become greedy about what is not a need. We need money, therefore become greedy about it. We need food, then become greedy about it. In fact, we become greedy about everything that we need. But we have to differentiate between the need and greed. Greed is something I can do away with. I can overcome greed, but I can't overcome need. Understand? Bahut badi baat hai ji. I can't overcome need. As long as I am alive, I need money, I need wealth, I need food, I need drink, I need air, I need shelter. Even when I am talking Vairagya, I come here as a Swami and tell you and give you a long lecture on Vairagya. Means what? Don't accumulate any wealth and then you give me dakshina and I accumulate it and go. You understand, I tell you, don't accumulate, don't. स्वामी जी ने बहुत अच्छा बात बताया. कौन सी बात? Don't accumulate. उसके लिए थोड़ा दे दो. Then what does the Swami do? Accumulate all that and goes. ये क्या बात है? There is no such a thing called non. You accumulate what you need. What do you need? Food is our need. Okay, this is called kama. Consuming is our need. That is why when you lose your appetite, you can't eat, you feel uncomfortable. You don't feel thirsty, you can't drink water, you feel uncomfortable. Therefore, consuming. If you are able to consume things happily, it's a sign of your good health. It's a sign of good health. Understand? Don't look upon consuming as a sin. Don't look upon money as a sin. Vedic culture says wealth is a need. Kama is a need. Then comes another third need. And that is dharma. Dharma is not only we need food and drink, not only we need material things, we also need mental peace. We need mental peace. Material need itself doesn't become mental peace. Are you able to follow? Material need itself doesn't become mental peace. I may meet all my material needs. I may have enough to eat, enough to drink, enough to spend. I may have shelter, everything, but yet I may not have mental peace. Abundance of artha and kama does not automatically mean mental peace. Because mental peace is directly related to dharma, values. Directly related. Mental peace is neither an accident, nor is it something, that can be got abruptly, arbitrarily. Mental peace is not an arbitrary result. In fact, nothing is arbitrary in this creation. Everything has to be gained through a relevant means. Survival is not an arbitrary result. I have to eat, then alone I survive. I have to breathe, then alone I survive. Is it arbitrary? Survival is not arbitrary. Survival is not arbitrary. I have to do everything relevant for survival in order to survive. I have to do everything relevant to survive in order to survive. Mental peace also doesn't come to me as an arbitrary thing. I have to follow dharma, and dharma means I have to be honest, truthful at least in those people with whom you are related. If you are honest, meaning if you are good to others, you are nice to others, meaning fair to others. This is called being nice, understand. Being nice is nothing else but being fair. Being fair is called being nice. Being nice does not mean, you meet a person with a broad smile and just say wonderful things, shake hands, both the hands, then hug the person, pat the person, but then you are unfair. The unfairness you are trying to conceal through handshakes and hugs. Handshakes are used to conceal the unfairness. But actually, to be nice means to be fair. When you are fair, that is the best way of being nice. Please understand this. When you are fair, you are very peaceful. When you are fair, you are peaceful. When you are nice, you need not be peaceful. Because you can be nice and also feel that, inwardly, you're not being fair. you have taken somebody's money and then you don't want to pay him back and you are being very nice. Every time you meet, very nice. आप बहुत अच्छा आदमी है, आप बहुत अच्छा, आप जैसे व्यक्ति को मैं पहले बार मिल रहा हूं, वगैरह वगैरह. You say is all what? It is not, you are being nice but not being fair. In fact, when you are not fair, when you are not being fair, you are also not being nice. Thus, fairness includes all values. I mean, I am giving a very comprehensive term. Dharma itself means being fair. I am being fair to my wife, to my children, to my parents, to myself, to my birds, to my dog, to my cat, to my garden, and to my cook, to my driver. Everybody who look up to me. There are people who look up to me, and I should be fair. I have no problem. I don't have to be fair to those people who don't look up to me. I am neither fair to them nor unfair to them. I mean, they are like me. But those who look up to me, with whom I interact, I should be fair to them. Fairness gives mental peace. Dharma. There is a difference between customs well observed throughout year. Customs well observed throughout year need not make you mentally peaceful. You better register this. स्वामी जी, मैं तो रोज मंदिर जाता हूँ, and then रोज आके रामायण पढ़ता हूँ, and then उसके बाद रामू से लड़ाई करता हूँ, उसके बाद ये करता हूँ. This is all called daily custom. You got a daily routine. This is called a daily routine. What is the use of it? This is all just really, these are all anadipan. Go to the temple, wonderful. Go to the temple, pray to God, come back, read Ramayana, everything. But understand, in your interactions with others, you should be fair. Should be fair. Till 4 o'clock, see, the Ramu worked for you till 2 o'clock. The guests left at 2 o'clock. After 2 o'clock, and he is tired and he needs to be resting, and you want a cup of tea right at 3 o'clock, and then you wake him up, and then they will go and make cup of tea. We are paying. This is called, what is called? It's called being unfair. Supposing you feel his work, let him rest, let him come on his own. चाय हम अपने आप बनाएंगे, क्या हो गया? जीवन में अगर चाय बनाना भी नहीं सीखा तो फिर सीखा क्या है? अगर चाय बनाना भी नहीं सीखा तो सीखा क्या है जीवन में? What is it all about? I don't understand. They say they have been working, let them rest. They are also human beings like me. I tell you, that feeling will create peace in your heart, peace in your mind. Fairness brings mental peace in floods, I am telling you. It brings shanti in floods. Shanti ka baad aa jayenge if you are fair to other. Because we are here for a few days. We are not here for 1,000 years. We are here for a few days. Then be nice to fair to. This is called that fairness. In fact, it is this fairness that is the essence of the entire dharma. I'm telling you, I mean what I say. I can justify that my statement of mine. That is, all dharma boils down to fairness. Fairness. Honesty is being fair. Truthfulness is being fair. Non-violence, I don't want others to kill me. I should not kill. That's being fair. I don't want others to tell me, therefore I should not tell lies. That's being fair. In fact, whatever I don't want others to do unto me, I should not do the same to others. That's being fair. I don't want my husband to look at any other girl. एकदम मुझे गुस्सा आ जाती है. Whenever my husband looks at that neighboring girl, through the window, I feel like going and throwing him out of the window. going with AK-47 to that girl. You see? I say, if that is what you think, then you also should not look at that boy also. The other neighboring boy. If I don't want my husband to look at any other girl, then I should not look at any other boy. That's being fair. That's being fair. No, my wife is a very, very sharif housewife. Therefore, I can play Krishna Leelas. See, I can be a Krishna, but my wife should be only Radha. You understand, This is very funny. But Krishna also was, Krishna Leelas are different from Krishna's. Fairness gives us mental peace. Dharma gives us mental peace. In fact, this fairness is given in a list. Amanitvam, adamhitvam, ahimsa. I don't want my children to disrespect me. I should not disrespect my parents. Is it being fair or not? Tremendous fairness. It is not easy to invoke in yourself a sense of fairness. Please understand. This word fairness is nothing. You can always utter the word fairness. To bring into your heart the sense of fairness, you have to be mightily objective. You have to be mightily unbiased. You have to be mightily reflective in order to bring to your heart the sense of fairness. I don't want my children to throw me out of my house. I should not throw my parents out of my house. I want my children to come and respect. Same thing, whatever I want the world, whatever I want the world to do to me, the same thing I should do to the world. This is called dharma, the third purushartha. What is the first purushartha? Artha. Second purushartha? Kama. Third purushartha? Dharma. Is dharma, tell me, is dharma, is it something, is it some philosophy or is it our need? It's our need. Wealth is our need. Consuming the right things is our need. You have to teach children what to consume and what not to consume. There is also education. To have money is easier, but to know exactly what to take and what to leave in life is a very, very, very need education. Anyway, artha is our need, kama is our need, dharma is our need. Therefore, don't think dharma is something, is only for those people, not for me. Only for the religious people dharma is required, not for me. Is it true? Is mental peace the need only of the religious, or the mental peace is the need for everybody? Everybody's need. That means what? Dharma is everybody's need. And the final need is, because the final need is to be clear about oneself, moksha. Moksha is also not a desire. Moksha is our need. Like sleep is not a luxury. Sleep is need. To transcend, to give up the mind is a need. Bahut badi baat hai ji. If you can really register. Every day we give up the mind. We transcend the mind. We transcend the world. We transcend this body. Every day we transcend this form. When sleep, we transcend this body. We transcend the mind. We transcend the time. We transcend the world. The body is like a log. And the person in the body is not feeling the body. He is not even feeling the house in which he is living. For him this world doesn't exist. He has transcended time, space, form, thought. Transcending the body and the thought and time, transcending this universe, is it our need or is it some religion? It's a need. You don't fall asleep for a few days. What is the difference? In fact, artha is our need, consuming is our need, right consumption is our need, and dharma, values are our need, and transcending the thought is also our need. Understanding that our existence transcends our thought is called moksha. Transcending the thought without understanding that phenomena is called sleep. Transcending thought and without recognizing that fact is called sleep. But if I recognize the fact that if I can transcend the thought, that means my existence is independent of thought. If my existence is independent of thought, definitely I'm not non-eternal, I'm not a mortal. Because thought can come to an end, but not what transcends thought. Time comes to an end, but not what transcends time. Form can come to an end, not what transcends. Therefore, on a day-to-day basis, it is our need to transcend the world, transcend this form, human form, transcend the mind, and therefore transcending this universe is our need. Meaning what? Sleep is our need. If sleep is our need, understanding that sleep is called moksha. Are you able to follow? Understand. If I am transcending the thought, that means I am able to exist independent of thought. That means my existence. If I can leave the house and go away, that means I am independent of the house as an individual. Similarly, if I can leave this house, that means my existence is independent of this house. Understanding correctly all about ourselves is called moksha. These are called four purusharthas. Now Arjuna says, do you know what he says? Taking the life of our parents, taking the life of our grandparents, taking the life of our teachers, taking the life of good human beings, though in the name of duty, taking the life of these good human beings would destroy our all-round well-being, and that all-round well-being is in the form of dharma, artha, kama, moksha. My entire well-being will be lost. Such a sinful thing it is to take the life of Bhishma, Drona, etc. Hatvartha kamastu guruni haiva. I'm just concluding. Instead of killing Bhishma and Drona, which would destroy my well-being, bhunjiya bhogan ruthira pradikhan. And even if I killed them, that would destroy all the purusharthas. And even if I were to get a kingdom, what kingdom will I be enjoying? I will only be enjoying a kingdom that is stained with the blood of Bhishma and Drona. Will I be able to enjoy the kingdom? Will I be able to enjoy the kingdom? No. You can't enjoy the pleasure that comes out of sin. Yes. A pleasure born of sin can't be enjoyed. That's what I think. Supposing, I put my parents, I just, abandon my parents and take my imported wife and children and go and then live in somewhere nice cottage in Switzerland, let us say. Calm. Will you be really happy? The thought, you don't know how your parents are, how they are faring, they don't have money, they don't have a house, patani kahan. How can that thought? And despite that, if you can really enjoy your wife and children, that means you are absolutely third-rate, insensitive. Insensitivity also has a gradation. Are you able to follow? Insensitivity has gradation. And you peak in your insensitivity when you abandon your parents and enjoy your Switzerland cottage. Therefore, here, hey Bhagavan, if I kill Bhishma, Drona, etc., and then really even if I enjoy the kingdom, then what is it? It's no good. It will be full of, I'll feel guilty plus. Because I can enjoy money. Now, I'm giving you a thought. I can enjoy money only with those for whom I have attachment. You can't enjoy money alone. Money is enjoyable only, pleasures are enjoyable only when you enjoy them along with the children for whom you have attachment, along with the parents for whom you have attachment. Then some people, your parents or your children, your grandchildren, your teachers, or your friends, those people whom you love, if they are not there, can you enjoy? Can you enjoy? Can you enjoy wealth? Can you enjoy wealth? No. That is why when you want to have tea in the morning, you wake up your husband, Ji, utho, chai piyenge. In company with your husband, you enjoy a cup of tea, not alone, if you can take. You can't enjoy. Are you really somebody whom you love must be there around? Some children or some bahu or somebody should be there. Without talking to somebody for whom you have attachment, how can you enjoy anything? Even a cup of tea, I don't think you can enjoy. Are you able to follow? Therefore, even if I were to get a kingdom, minus Bhishma and Drona, how am I going to enjoy? Thus, he has argued in favor of attachment as a sacred thing in life. Krishna argues in favor of duty. Arjuna says, attachment. I love to be attached to my people. You say it is Maya. Doesn't matter as long as I can enjoy it. What is Maya? Attachments I would love to have. I would love to have attachments. I would love to work for those for whom I am attached. It's a conflict between duty and attachment. Is it an ordinary crisis? Is it ordinary? No. It's a very, very, very out of the ordinary crisis. It's no ordinary crisis. When we have that crisis, we don't run to Krishna or anything. We always fall for the attachment. Duty bhaad mein jaane. What is duty? हमारे बच्चे ठीक रहे, पतिदेव ठीक रहे, पत्नी ठीक रहे, माता पिता ठीक रहे. Duty bhaad mein jaane. Not able to follow? But then Krishna didn't allow Arjuna to think. Hey, when you are faced with a very huge duty, then you have to. It's like a soldier, in the war front. If he is faced with a choice between sacrificing his life there and then attachment for his. It's a very big sacrifice, I'm telling you. Sacrificing is one's life in the form of, in the process of a duty, is the ultimate sacrifice that one can make. It is the ultimate sacrifice. Able to follow? Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha Harihi Om Om Tat Sat. Continue. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om.